All right, folks, in Los Angeles, a cop is on trial for the death of Alicia Thomas. She died in July 2012 while in police custody. Thomas was restrained in a police car when she was reportedly hit and kicked by police veteran Mary O'Callahan. The injuries she received resulted in her death, and now O'Callahan is on trial. Yesterday in court, that snippet of that video was shown. It's actually a longer video, but the judge put in place a gag order so we cannot actually see the full video. I'm going to go to our panel right now. Cleo Monago, Lauren Victoria Burke, David Swirlig. This is, see, here's what is interesting to me. I love the folks who still want to push this narrative that it's a few bad apples, the majority of, yeah, I got you. But because of video, because of social media, because we now can bypass mainstream media who does not give a damn about these stories, just like when a missing black woman comes up. I mean, you got Fox doing a 10-year anniversary piece on Natalie Holloway. I don't remember them doing a one-day anniversary piece on a missing black woman. And again, because of video is why I believe this officer is on trial, because no longer can cops run and hide from abuse.
Well, yeah, none of this, we wouldn't be talking about any of this if it wasn't for the Eric Garner video. Obviously, the Walter Scott video was particularly shocking. We wouldn't have legislation in Congress right now on body cameras if it wasn't for the Walter Scott video. That singularly is probably going to pass a federal bill funding body cameras. But anyway, obviously, you know, this is an issue that's been in the black community for a very long time, and now it's been illustrated by video and by social media. There's no doubt about that. It does give you the sensation it's more people than it actually is, though. We do have 600,000 cops in the country, and I would suspect that the number that we're looking at that is that have been guilty of misconduct is actually fairly small. So it does tend to give you the feeling that it's more than it actually is.
I don't think, as someone who worked in law enforcement, I don't think it's small. I think there's a culture. I mean, back in the day when I was working in law enforcement, the image that we used for gun practice was a brother with an apple cap doing this. You know what I'm saying? That was what we shot at. So it's a culture that normalizes black men as targets. So it's not necessarily systems. People do system things based on what a system acknowledges or what a system has in place. And often people don't necessarily mean, in some cases, to do what the system tells them to do. But like I said on an earlier show, there's a systemic tendency in the whole police culture to protect the powers that be, who tend not to look like us. So there's some systemic long-term issues here, and I personally think it's worse than what we think. Also, and I can close with this, Rodney King was on video. Way back in the day. Right. We heard about that incident because of a video that was there. Right. And it was something that had been happening forever, but we finally so we already know this. What are we going to do next?
Well, but again, no, I think what we're seeing now is, as a result of this, now you have, so remember, the Rodney King video, that video still went through, it was released through mainstream media and then went public. Yeah. And then it was, well, bits and pieces. Now because video is so ubiquitous, now because of the proliferation of cell phones, and now because we don't have to rely on CNN, MSNBC, Fox, ABC, CBS, NBC. We have our own outlet, social media, TV One. We now don't have to depend on them, so we can now drive a narrative that forces them to now respond, which then in turn, media pressure comes, pressure on the DA, pressure on the cops, results in folks actually getting tried.
Yeah, and what astounds me, Roland, is that after a number of these incidents have come out publicly on video, that police, knowing they have cameras in their cars, knowing that people are out here with cell phones, still have this sort of, you know, blithely brutalizing people in these situations.
Well, Walter Scott, but also remember the dude in California who stole a horse? How the cops, man, they whooped up a homeboy. The police, the news helicopter was about 10 of them just was beating homeboy. Like, y'all know it's a news helicopter up there. They said, man, whatever.
The Eric Garner video was like that. I mean, the cops knew the kid was standing right there while they had Eric Garner down. So this is sort of strange. We're going to have a lot more video, by the way.
Oh no,
because these cops wear cameras, we're going to see even more video.
Well, now here's the other deal. I got to do this Tamir Rice story because yesterday in Daily Kos, Sean King did a piece saying that police had charged Tamir Rice with various offenses. offenses. Now they've changed the headline. Let me go to that. They've changed the headline saying police. So this is the actual. So go to my iPad, please. Now they've changed to police wanted to charge 12-year-old Tamir Rice with aggravated menacing and inducing panic. And so they should have changed it. An incident report is different from actually filing charges.
Right.
I mean, that's first. And so they got that wrong. They got that wrong. Also, I still believe, I still personally believe it is wrong to say they wanted to charge him with this. On an incident report, they basically place something in a category.
Right.
Okay. The issue, though, that still bothers me is that more than 170 days, according to MotherJones.com, they haven't even interviewed the cops who were involved, the guy who shot and killed Tamir Rice or the other cop who was driving the car. How do you go 170 days and the sheriff's department who's leading the investigation hasn't even conducted the interview?
I got a member of Congress who keeps telling me that something's going to happen with this case within 2 or 3 weeks. I don't know that I completely believe that until I see it, but there's supposed to be something coming with this case.
What?
I don't know. Something pending. That's a good question. But something in the direction of justice for Tamir Rice. So but I don't know. We have to wait and see. And of course this is taking too long because quite frankly, there's not enough political pressure on the mayor and the police chief. And we need to put a lot of pressure on these people to take action. If North Charleston can do it, these people can do it.
I'm utterly shocked that we are not seeing mass action. This is where I try to explain to people why mass action matters. Well, you can complain about protesting, you complain about, well, people say that doesn't work, but the reality is it keeps the attention and the focus on those elected officials, and it forces them to say, you're not going to let this fade away. 170 days, and you haven't even interviewed the cops involved. That, to me, is an abomination.
Right. And you have a tape of a kid, a 12-year-old, getting shot 1 second after the police show up by a cop that should never have been hired by that department. I mean, it couldn't get any worse.
Well, there's been no pressure, and you guys referenced Charleston. That's a small anomaly.
Yeah, my point is...
Small microcosm. We don't all act
all
like
this
that.
talk about the mayor and the police chief not being able to say anything because of some legal reason, that was thrown out with the Charleston case, because they got out there and said
first of all, let's first keep in mind, in North Charleston, they saw the video.
Right.
They charged him with murder. They fired him. They didn't wait for protests.
That's right.
But what I'm saying is Cleveland is different, and I'm just not understanding why I'm not seeing it. David, hold that point. I got to go to a break right now.